All right, welcome to John Michael's Rockbox. Today we have a trailblazing tech and e-commerce expert and author, Marsha Collier, in conjunction with her latest book. I got to tell you, I've read part of this. Android Smartphones for Seniors for Dummies. I gotta love that one. There it is. And Marsha, thanks for coming on.
Well, thank you for having me, John Michael. I've heard about you for ages. You are a legend when it comes to who doesn't love classic rock? Okay, seriously. I'm sure there are a couple people, but when I'm laying there on those last few minutes, I want to be hearing some, Janis Joplin and Jimi Hendrix.
Heck yeah, I know. Prior to us starting this video, we were discussing some music, and you got to experience a couple of great concerts, Marsha.
I did. My first concert, and I was young. I was interning at a radio station, and there were tickets for Jimi Hendrix. And I was very young, and it was very early in his career, but I was sitting like in the 6th row and watching Jimmy just shred. I mean, he was amazing. And that's what set me off on my love of music. And I'm afraid I love too many forms of music. I mean, I'm really happy with good jazz too.
Oh yeah, I hear you. I'm with you. I love music, and that's just good for me. In fact, I got an opportunity to play on that stage that Jimi Hendrix played on.
Really?
Monterey, for the Monterey Pop Festival, and they actually showed me the area where Jimi Hendrix lit his guitar on fire, and because they have it circled and have his name written.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
that's so cool. So people don't know about these little things behind the scenes, right? Like in the back of the Comedy Store here in LA, there's all kinds of stuff on the walls and things that people just don't know about.
Sure, I know, it's great to find out all kinds of stuff like that. Yeah, so when I saw Hendrix's name there on that stage, I was like, the Who were here, the Mamas and the Papas played on here, Quicksilver,
Cass Elliot. Service. Oh my, was there a voice after Cass Elliot? I mean,
I'm telling you, it was just fabulous. And I saw Jimi Hendrix's name and where his guitar was burned, and it just felt these chills just going like, whoa, this is, but it was cool chills.
Right.
So, all right. So, it's awesome to have you on. And like I had mentioned in the beginning, I did go through part of your book, or at least the PDF that I got, and Android Smartphone for Seniors for Dummies, and how you created this book. In just the little part that I read was really informative right away. So how'd you stumble across all this stuff, Marsha?
Well, I've been writing books since the turn of the century. I had a career change and I started writing books.
Right.
The main reason I write books is I like to help people.
Sure.
I also like to bust myths. Oh. Things that the big experts are always telling everybody to do.
Right.
And they're not true. But what they do is they benefit either big tech or the people giving seminars and classes. Right. I don't give classes. All the books I've written, over 50 books over the years, I put my email address in. And if someone has a question, they can email me directly and I'll give them the straight answer. But I don't like to write like a tech book. I like to write like we're sitting across the kitchen table and I'm talking to you. I don't know if you noticed that.
I did.
To me, it's a much more personal thing, the connection with a reader and a writer. So I don't have that wall that a lot of writers have.
Right.
I get very personal.
Yeah, and it's true, because as I was reading that email and part of that book, I was reading it as if it were a conversation. So, in particular, if you're going to be talking to seniors, the best way to reach them is act like you're talking to them and not trying to tech them out, because
but that's a human thing, isn't it? I mean, any age will respond better if you just talk with them not to them,
Yes.
not, I hate to use the phrase mansplain, but let's put that in a general way, because there's a whole lot of that goes on.
Yeah.
And give them information that they can actually use, actionable information and information that's true. This has just been my thing over the years, because teaching people, it is an art form. And because I don't like to particularly teach people in person, I write my books and I give them the information. Someone once wrote to me about my eBay for Dummies book. They bought the book and they said, oh, this is too much work. I don't want to do this. And this is in an email from them. And he said, now it's 4 years later and I've lost $20,000. I'm buying the new edition of your book because I think you're on track.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and let me ask you this, because going through that, how did you find out all this stuff? Is it just trial and error?
No, I'm a deep reader.
Yeah.
I read the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times. I read corporate white papers. I am they say I'm a tech expert, and I've traveled around the world, Barcelona, Munich, Switzerland, meeting with tech people, hosting tech conferences. I even got to go to a 5G farm in Switzerland, where they treat the cows naturally instead of giving them injections and all the chemicals.
Yeah.
And it's all done with 5G, which is interesting, with a chip in their necks. But, with the books, I just, I like to take that information and make it where real people can read it. And I don't look at the book, Android Smartphones for Seniors, as a senior's book. I think it's for anybody. Mm-hmm. And the type is not in large type, but it is in larger type. You might have noticed that.
Yeah.
I like larger type. That's easy, because that makes it easier to look at your screen and then to look back at the book, look at the screen, look back at the book, makes things a lot easier for switching back and forth. Plus, my publisher was gracious enough to publish the book in full color. Oh. So any screenshots are in full color and then not that boring black and white. Yeah.
Yeah, this is true. And that makes a big difference. It really does. I mean, color does add a lot to that. And you're right about a larger font, because as I was looking and testing out some of the links that you posted in your book, I'm looking at it and looking at the screen and okay, do this, go here, click that. And it did help, instead of trying like, oh, where is it? Where was it? Where's that link? What did
and it breaks my heart, now I'm getting older. I'll grant you my eyesight isn't the perfect that it used to be, but I go to the eye doctor. But my point is, why should we strain our eyes to read something? And so many things. And let's face it, it is easier to read paper than it is to read off a screen.
Yeah.
It's proven. It's the best way to learn. My daughter works for a university. They tossed out all that digital baloney. They're back to paper books. Because you look at a paper book and you read something and, oh, didn't I read something like that a few pages? And you scroll back and you go back. And yes, you can do that on a digital platform, but you don't have the paper. And it's been proven when you make notes on paper, that they stick in your head much better. I mean, if you make a to-do list, right? Sure. It's nice when you put it on your phone. I don't always pay attention to it, but when I have it on a piece of paper, okay, cross that off. It's a bit more actionable.
Yeah.
And I think that's the key. Digital is more convenient, but paper is more actionable. So I don't think that's something we're going to be losing right away. Even Samsung, in their new phone, they were going to cancel the Note, or they are canceling the Note.
Oh.
But their new flagship phone is going to come with a stylus for those who like to write on their phone. I used to like to write on my phone. I don't so much anymore. I said, the hell with this. Give me a piece of paper. And so I'm back to backs of envelopes, and the big on backs of envelopes. Oh. And using paper.
Yeah. Plus, you know, there's something to be said about the way a book smells anyway.
Well, let's hope it doesn't smell too. But
No,
it,
they smell
it's
great.
nice to hold it in your hand. Oh, and another thing, all the screenshots in the book,
Yeah.
there's pictures of my cat, Sammy, and my husband, Kurt, and I use my entire family as examples. So you'll notice in a lot of tech books, people will set up accounts like Abraham Lincoln and George Washington and all that. I don't do that. I just use real people, because real people. So my husband even took the picture on the cover of the book. So
Oh,
yeah, so it's more to me of a personal connection.
sure. Sure, sure. And that's good. I mean, the book is great. I mean,
Thank you.
yeah, it's fabulous. It's easy to read. It's got a lot of great, fabulous links and suggestions. Is this something that you uh, because I've seen the list of these phones that you've posted that you've tried. In fact, what you did beta testing, right?
Well, and I did do beta testing for Android 12, which still isn't really out yet. But when I wrote this book, I had 6 or 7 phones.
Oh.
My kitchen kind charging area looked like a T-Mobile store. And so I had everything from the newest flagship, which was the OnePlus 9 Pro, which is a spectacular phone, all the way down through different generations to a 2018 Pixel 3 XL.
Oh,
And you know what? With the updated software,
yeah.
that Pixel 3 XL was a damn good phone.
Really?
I enjoyed using it. And the thing is, that I write in the book, you don't need to always go out and buy a brand new phone. There are quality phones that you can use and buy a lot cheaper, and they'll still work. I mean, which is better, a $200 phone every 2 years or a $1,200 phone every 4 years?
Oh, yeah.
And in the book, I give the websites where you can go to compare the specs of each phone, which is kind of important. And because when you look at a phone, they have OLED screens, and they have this kind of LCD, and they have this and this and this. I don't know about you, but depending on the manufacturer, a good manufacturer can take a lesser screen and really spiff it up and make it easy to see.
Sure.
So there's no reason to always chase the latest and the greatest. And that's, if you can afford, and in this day and age, God bless you. You want to go do that? Good for you.
Yeah.
More power to you. I'm not saying anything bad. But for those who would like to, work on a budget, even Samsung has started to put out a series of phones that are less expensive in the $300 to $400 range.
Oh, wow. See, what did I get? I got the Google Pixel 2 XL. I think that's mine now, which I love it.
Phone.
Yeah, it's, and I'm probably going to have to upgrade it or have it fixed, because I have the camera lens, the little one.
You know what I'd do if I were you?
What?
The 3 XL, great phone, and you can buy it for like $100 on eBay. I use a lot from eBay because I think, I wrote eBay for Dummies, but I believe, you can get some great deals because there's factory refurbished and dealer refurbished phones on there that you can get. So that's great.
Yeah.
And you might want to upgrade, but I'd upgrade maybe to the Pixel 5, because Google has announced that they will continue major software upgrades for 4 years on their phones.
Right.
So that's something to think about too, is the long term. And that's something they're not going to tell you in the phone store.
Yeah.
Because when you walk into the phone store, you've got commissioned salespeople.
Yeah.
Get spiffs on certain items. And that's why, why not use your good sense that you have? A lot of people says, I just want to buy a phone. I don't want to think about it. Why not?
Yeah.
What else have you got to do? You're that busy? I don't know if you're that busy.
This is true. Hey, you know what? I got to share this because you brought up eBay. You wrote a book
Yeah.
about that.
In
Show us your book.
1998, I wrote the original eBay for Dummies.
Wow.
And in 2020, this book came out, and that's the 10th edition. What I do
Hi.
with all of my books is I only write a book if I'm in love with the topic, because I
Sure.
figured then I'm married to it for years.
Yeah.
And then every 18 to 24 months, I will update it because everything does change.
Yes. Yes, it does. And for all of you who are just jumping on with us, Marsha Collier is my guest today on the Rock Box, who wrote the book Android Smartphones for Seniors for Dummies, which is fabulous. It's a great read, and it talks to you easily. She does. So it's like talking to you in person,
But
Marsha.
what's interesting is that we should learn,
Right.
especially as we get older. And when I say older, I'm talking hit 40, hit 50. You have not learned it all. There's new stuff all the time. And I don't know, I'm a little iffy about blockchain. I don't know a whole lot about blockchain. And I know it's important and it's on my list to study and get to be expert on, but I'm never going to write about it because it's not my passion.
Yeah.
My
That makes
passion
sense.
is everyday things like eBay.
Yeah.
That can help anybody, especially seniors. I mean, you have a house full of stuff. You probably have a ton of rock and roll memorabilia that is nice. And you look at it, and do I really need it?
Yeah.
You put it up on eBay. I just found some autograph because I did some work with NASA, and I got some autographed pictures of the Gemini astronauts. I didn't work with them back then, but I got it through someone I met there.
Right.
And I mean, it's lovely, but I don't think my daughter's going to care about it. So people should look around their homes, maybe make a little money to get, if you want that $1,000 phone, sell a few things that you have sitting around. You'll be shocked to see how much they're worth.
And so they can get that kind of information off your book, right?
Yeah.
Like, how am I going to do that? How do I sell something on eBay?
Well, that's the thing. eBay for Dummies is the basic book. It is not the one that's going to tell you how to run a business and how to set up your bookkeeping. It is the basic book that will give you, and from what I've heard over the years from the readers who write to me, and I do get emails almost every day, is that it does. If you read my books, you will have a basic knowledge that you'll feel confident with, and you can talk to anybody about.
That's good. That's good because we could all, the easier the better, Marsha, and thank you for doing that, because you got the painstaking labor of making it simple for all of us.
I think of it's like translating English to English, but I do it in this, I don't, people say, well, it's a dummies book, you're dumbing it down. No, I'm not dumbing it down. I'm just writing it in a different way. A way that's more accessible to people, because in the end, I want them to succeed.
Absolutely. That's fabulous. And you pick up this book, for those of you who are joining us on the Rock Box, that you'll see for yourself when you start to read how friendly it is and easy to maneuver and find your place.
I try. I really try. I can't mention the huge companies, but there are some mega companies that you see advertising on TV that started with my first eBay for Dummies.
Oh.
And that's how they learned the business.
Right.
And, right now there's all that noise about how Amazon is burying third-party sellers in fees and all that. Well, I predicted that like 10 years ago, but nobody listened to me. And that's one of the reasons why I don't go on the speaking thing, is because there's all these experts, again, who have stuff to push, and I don't push anything. There's nothing for sale on my website. You want any of my knowledge, it's about $20 in Amazon. I don't even sell the books myself because it costs me more to ship them and buy them, because Amazon can buy them cheaper from my publisher.
Sure. Well, that makes sense. So speaking of your website and contacting you, Marsha, how can people find you?
Well, honestly, there is a contact form on my website, which is called Cool eBay Tools or marshacollier.com. That's MARSHACOLLIER.com. There is a contact form there. I also have a blog. All you have to Google is Marsha Collier's blog, and that'll come up to the top on Google, and you'll find a contact thing there. Or maybe it sends you to the other website for the contact form. I'm not sure. But also, I am on Facebook. My Facebook page is fully public.
Nice.
And I have a business page. You know about those, right?
Right.
But I do the most action on my personal page because I figure people know me through my books.
Yeah.
And because we have a personal connection, hey, here's my new kitten, or, here's my life, here's my garden. And that's the same thing with my Instagram account. I don't push product anywhere.
Right.
The Instagram account says, this is my life. Join me for the ride. I'm not out to push anything on anybody. And I guess my Facebook professional page, there's always something up when I'll put this up there when, this is done. But it's for informational only. And that was the funny thing. I got into social media because I was sending newsletters to like 10,000 people who had requested a newsletter.
Huh.
My problem was I didn't sell anything. And people say, well, why didn't you do affiliate marketing? Why didn't you sell, stuff for other people? And I said, unless I really believe in the product, unless I know who the people are behind the company, they're not going to be mentioned in my book. And I mentioned several websites in my book. And believe me that I researched those websites to be darn sure that they were legit and weren't, scoping people for data and stuff like that.
Right.
Oh, I have to tell you something funny that I did learn.
Okay.
You're in California, right?
Yes.
So am I. Okay. So seniors are always looking for senior discounts, right?
Yeah, it's true.
Right?
Yes.
Did you know there's one at Taco Bell, but you have to ask for it? True.
No, I didn't know that.
10% off.
Seriously, do you tell them, do you have a senior?
You just say, I want the senior discount.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know
so
that.
Anyway, so when it comes to phone plans, and I'm afraid I was a little too open about this in the book because I'm that way. There's one company that has an alliance with a very large senior organization. And they each use names interchangeable, like they're partners, like this is the, no, in the book is the small print off the bottom of their ads. We pay for the right to use this name. Right. We are not connected with.
Right.
So there's that.
Yeah.
Then there was the thing, the only legit senior plan on phones is with T-Mobile. And I believe their senior plan is 2 phones for $55 or $60 with unlimited everything.
Really?
It's crazy. And so I looked for AT&T and Verizon. They have senior plans, but they only offer them in the state of Florida.
Wow, wait, hey, huh? Why?
Right. But they can say they have a senior plan.
I guess so. But, maybe because a lot of the seniors like to move to Florida. I don't know.
I don't know. I would think that would be, if I had something great and I wanted to sell it to people like my books, I want every living, breathing soul to be able to buy it. So.
Yeah. Well, you would think that they'd catch on and say, well, if we expand our senior plan to every state or maybe globally.
Yeah, but they've already got people paying $70, $80 a month for their phone plan.
Yeah.
And you know how people are, I don't want to change. Change is, be honest with you, I'm not a giant fan of change myself.
Right.
But if it's going to cut a bill in half, I'm going to think about it. I'm seriously going to think about it.
And have you gone through different plans and checked out each one's, like Verizon, T-Mobile?
And in the book,
we
Android
go.
smartphones for seniors. I talk about places where you can research this. To be perfectly honest, the maps that are given out by the FCC that are on the internet are notoriously not accurate. There is an app called Open Signal that you can download to your phone. It is not a data suck. The only thing it sucks down, it's not your personal data, it's the location data, because what you do is stand at your house. You can open the app and see how many AT&T towers are near you, how many Verizon towers, and it will let you know where you live, what is the best signal.
Oh.
And I happen to live in a dead zone, period.
Poor Marsha.
But the thing is, use your Wi-Fi at home. I mean, that Wi-Fi calls are probably better than a lot of cellular calls. Remember when phones used to work?
The ones that used to use it pick off the wall?
Hello? Yeah. They used to work.
They did. Oh, I remember watching a video that showed they brought out a dial phone and these young kids, and they didn't know what it was. And you think, oh no, this has got to be a put on. But they were trying to figure out what does this do? How does this work?
I have about I have more ideas than I have time. I collected some vintage princess phones.
Right.
That were vintage when I bought them, which was probably 20 years ago. And they work, and you can plug them in. And I have a red princess phone in my living room, and people look at it. It's not a dial one, it is a push button one.
Oh.
And I don't have the special connector because I don't care, because we don't talk on the phone anymore. We either do Zoom or we text each other. Or are you an Android? You're obviously an Android.
I'm right. Android.
Have you used Google Duo?
I have it on my phone, but I have not used it.
Yeah, well, we'll have to Duo one time. Basically, the iPhone people have FaceTime.
Right.
Now, personally, I wouldn't be real thrilled with somebody calling me to see my face at their choice of time versus mine. But that's what it does. But Google Duo does the same thing. It's just like FaceTime, only nobody knows it's there.
Oh, yeah. So, it's funny because when I was looking through your book and trying the different links and stuff and then going into my settings, as I'm looking for my settings app, I saw Duo, and I was like, Duo.
Well, it's FaceTime for Android.
Oh, see, thank you, Marsha.
Well, that's the kind of stuff I put in the book. And actually, what makes Android great is Google mobile services. Now, a lot of people like to download apps. I personally don't, because I don't like to share data, because every time you download a new app, you have to agree to something.
Yeah.
And I talk about studies they've done that nobody reads this stuff. And it just, they give up a whole lot.
You're right.
But Google mobile services, you've got Gmail. Spectacular. That's my filing cabinet. If I want to know an email, let's say you and I wrote to each other 10 years ago.
Right.
I just search your name and all the emails we've ever written come up.
Oh.
Google Photos. Are you using Google Photos?
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you ever searched your Google Photos?
I have. And I was like, I don't remember that, but boy, it's there.
What's really great is I can put in my cat's name and all the pictures of my cat show up. Or if I type in Christmas or wedding or England, any of these topics, because photos are also geotagged. All the pictures ever taken in England would come up. So Google Photos, that comes free with your phone.
Right.
And Google Maps. What's better than Google Maps? I mean,
I couldn't find my way around if I didn't have that.
I mean, also I teach how you can also find your way. Let's say you have a 1 p.m. appointment. There's a way to go into Google Maps and set it for arrival time 1 p.m. and it will tell you the prediction of the traffic.
Oh,
So
really?
you know when to leave. And then it'll give you a notification saying you ought to leave in 5 minutes. Traffic's getting bad.
I'm gonna have to finish reading your book, I see, and find out these things like that, because, my weekends include going out and performing with the cover band that I play with. And sometimes it's at a place that I have never been to. It's like, where in the world is that?
What do you play?
Drums.
Drums.
Yeah. One of
Oh,
those
I love
guys.
it. My friend Scott used to play saxophone with Pink Floyd. And
Nice.
we run into each other every once in a while. Yeah, we could do a whole other show about music.
I think so. Well, you know what? I've got you on my list now, and now I have a way to contact you, and we're going to keep in touch, Marsha. Marsha.
But again, let me just tell everybody, I'm on social media. I'm on Twitter every day. I'm a verified account on Twitter. You can reach me there. On Facebook, I have a business account, which you can leave comments. I have a website, but Twitter, I am on every day. And if you message me on Twitter, I'm going to see it right away.
Okay. How do they find you on Twitter?
At Marsha Collier. That's
At Marsha
it.
Collier.
All my accounts are my name.
Okay. And Facebook is the same?
Yep.
All right. And again, the book is just fabulous. Android smartphones for seniors, for dummies. She has her eBay. And don't you have another yet besides?
Do have one other quick one. This is my favorite. Also, not favorite, but Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for seniors. A lot of questions about social media etiquette, how to make things more private. This book also on it. They're all on Amazon.
Yeah, because it's the world of social media, and it really is. It just is. And so if you're afraid to bounce around in that world, I recommend that you just look up Marsha Collier and find one of her books. And it's gonna help you. I thought I had a pretty semi good knowledge of stuff, especially with my phone, but not after reading this book. I see.
But that's the thing. I am good at these few topics, so you don't have to be.
Yeah.
All you have to do is read the book, and you need to know it. Well, we stuff our heads with too much stuff.
We do. And before I let you go, Marsha, the difference, and I know you mentioned this in your book, of Android versus, I forgot the other one that I don't use. iPhone. Thank you. Hello. Your preference is?
I'm an Android.
Android.
I love the fact I just don't like, and I realize, yes, Google owns Android.
Right.
But Google, and I show in the book, I don't know if you got to that part.
Yeah.
Android is an open source project.
Right.
If you invented a phone, you could put Android on your phone.
Right.
And that's not the same with an iPhone or Apple products. And that's good for Apple products. They make a lot of money. But remember that Google is in the business of selling ads. So that's one thing. Right. And what is Apple in the business of? Their messaging does share information. Not everything is as private as it seems. If you want to look into more of that, you can Google the information. I don't have a book on that, but I just like the fact that Android is open source. It's customizable. You can do what you want with it. I mean, the new Android 12 is so colorful. It's just beautiful. And I like the look of Android also. I don't have my phone here, but I like the way we can set up our phones too.
Right. Sure. Absolutely. Do love it. Man, there's so much great information, and it's fabulous. I am glad that I came across you, Marsha Collier. Again, the book, Android Smartphones for Seniors, for Dummies. Don't mind the title. It's lovely. It's a book that you're going to fall in love with. Trust me. And it's so easy to read, and it's a good conversation. It's like talking to Marsha.
That's right. And let's face it, we're all dummies on certain things. I am a total dummy when it comes to iPhones. Just I don't want to read the book.
Yeah. No, I'm going to stay with my Android. I love my Android. I'm a big fan. So once again, Marsha, you want to run through your websites and places that people can find you before we let you go?
Twitter. I am on Twitter too much. And I get notifications when I get messages. So if you need me, message me on Twitter. My account is open. All my accounts are public. Nothing is hidden. Nothing is private. My email address, my real personal email address, is in every book I've ever written. So if you have a question, you can email me. I'm on Facebook with a personal page and a fan page, as they used to call it, or I call it my author page. I'm on Instagram if you want to see pictures of things that go around my house, because we all have a house and we all have funky things going on.
Don't we? Don't we?
And then there's websites, but I love social media, and I think social media is the most fun and efficient way to connect.
It is. It really is. You can reach so many people in even just one platform.
Absolutely.
You know, and it's really good. And so when you go out to look for Android smartphones for seniors for dummies, you can find it. They're available everywhere: Amazon Kindle and what is it, Audible. And so go get one. It'd be worth your while, yours, for you watching this.
And if you want it autographed, just message me on one of the platforms and I'll send you a sticker with a personalized autograph you can put on the inside of the book.
Hey, I'm going to do that. I'm going to get an autograph from you, Marsha, because like I say, I know her. She's signed my book.
Yeah, my husband says that every morning.
I know you, Marsha. Sign my book.
Always.
Marsha,
Thank you so much, John Michael. This has been fabulous. You're an incredible host.
Marsha Collier, you're a fabulous guest. And we are going to talk again, because
we are, for sure.
We're going to talk, we're going to talk music next time.
Oh, and I do have a podcast, by the way.
Yeah.
It's called Computer and Technology Radio. Believe it or not, it's been going for over 10 years.
Nice.
I do it with Mark Cohen, who was a host on KBC here in Los Angeles.
Nice.
So we do that. Comes out every Monday. It's on iHeart. It's on all the networks.
Yeah, I love it. I'm going to check it out and go listen for myself. So again, it's Marsha Collier, the book Android Smartphones for Seniors for Dummies. And thank you for hanging out with us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and become a fan. We'd love to have you on the show, and we love having you watch this on John Michael's Rockbox. Marsha, thank you.
Click subscribe.
That's right. Thank you, Marsha.
Bye-bye. Thank you, John Michael.